Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2021 Subaru Ascent, we're going to be checking out the CURT Premium Hitch-Mounted Bike Rack. So right off the bat, the rack that we have here today can hold up to a total of 4 bikes, but if you need to carry an additional one, there's a 5-bike version available as well. One of the big questions that we get asked all the time in regards to these hitch-mounted bike racks is if you can still get to the inside of your Subaru whenever you have the rack on it. And the answer is yes, this one does fold down out of the way. There's gonna be a few things we need to do here. There's gonna be a T-handle screw there, you can loosen that up. We'll pull this clip off, pull the pin out. We're gonna have a T-handle you can lift up on. That's going to allow this to drop down. And with it in this position, you know, we can open up our rear hatch and get anything we might need in and out of the back of our Subaru. But kind of the first thing that stood out to me is how high the rack holds our bikes. You know, this is gonna depend on what type of hitch you have. You know, if you have a hitch that goes below the bumper, this is gonna drop down quite a bit, but the majority of the hitches on the Ascent are similar to ours today. So it's up there, you know, nothing too bad about it. We have really good ground clearance, so nothing to worry about there. Really the only thing that kind of comes to my mind, if you're a shorter person, you know, and have maybe some heavier bikes, might be something to think about. You know, trying to get these unloaded and loaded on might be a little challenging. What you could do though is use a platform style rack. Might be a better option, just throwing it out there. But the way this works is really simple, so really shouldn't give you too many issues. It's going to hold our bike down in 3 spots. So we're going to have a strap here and here, a strap down here around our seat post, and this is going to act as an anti-sway strap, you know, to help prevent that side-to-side movement, that way our bikes aren't banging into each other as we're going down the road. But with that said, let's go ahead and get our bike off so we can have a better look at the rack. So there's just some straps. We're just going to pull down on these and flip them up and out of the way. Same deal with this one here. And now we're able to grab the bike, slide it off, and go hit the trails. So the cradles here where our bike's frame are gonna sit on, they're almost it's like a soft plastic or a hard rubber. That's kind of what they remind me of. And what's cool is there's a ton of adjustability with this particular rack, so these will actually rotate, and they kind of give you three different sides there, so whatever fits your bike's frame the best, you can use that. And we're gonna have a bunch of anchor points as well, so you can run the strap like that, like this, you know, whatever you see most appropriate, because every bike is a little bit different. That said though, talking about the straps, these feel pretty good in your hand. You know, they're relatively thick, and we actually use this rack quite a bit here at eTrailer, putting it on different vehicles and everything else. So these get quite a bit of use, and they've held up really great so far. So definitely should get some miles out of these. I do suggest so when you're not using the rack, just to kind of anchor these back down. That way they're not flopping around in the wind or anything like that. Whenever we have the rack on the back of our Ascent, you know, it is going to extend the overall length of it. And to figure out exactly how much, if you measure from the back here to the very end of the rack, looks like it's going to be right about 40 inches. So it takes up a little bit of space, and something to keep in mind, you know, if you got a small garage or pull into a tight parking spot. However, the arms do fold down when you're not using it to free up some space. There's going to be a pin and clip there. Pull that out. Swing the arms down, and you want to put that pin and clip back in. Keep it steady. And like this, it's relatively compact now. Actually, it looks like the furthest point is going to be down here. So we'll just measure from our bumper there to that furthest point. And right here, it's only going to add about 14 inches to the back of your Subaru. So with it like this, really shouldn't give you too many issues, you know, when you do go to pull into your garage or that tight parking spot. Moving on down here, the rack is going to work with those 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube openings like we have here today on our Subaru. And it's also going to come included with an anti-rattle bolt. And what that's going to do is eliminate any slop or play there in the connection point. That way it's not going to bounce around and make a bunch of noise. So kind of give you an example of that. Let's say if we're going down the road, hitting some bumps, you can see the rack is going to move with our Ascent and not on its own. So at the end of the day, you know, a great all-around rack. It's going to be an awesome way to transport a lot of bikes around. And honestly too, especially in this position, I think it looks really good on the back of the Ascent. With it like this, it kind of just looks like it means business. And if you're anything like me, you always want to see you know, the product you're interested in actually working or in action. So let's go ahead, load this up with some bikes, take it out on the test course and see how it performs. This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway. And that'll finish up our look at of the CURT Premium Hitch-Mounted Bike Rack on our 2021 Subaru Ascent.